Experiences are what make life enjoyable. The reason I teach people the safety habits and strategies that I teach and how to defend themselves if necessary is so they can go out and experience and enjoy life. That's what the whole enjoy life safely is about. Why would you want to barricade yourself into a fortress and train 24/7 for something that will probably never happen because you don't leave the seclusion of your barricaded fortress? We want to go out and experience all that life has to offer. That's what enjoying life is about. That's how you will enjoy more, to experience more, and do so with those that you care about, family and friends, meet new people. So when we're staying safe, it is so we can do more, not to be paranoid and do less. A paranoid person just stays at home because he's afraid of the world. A prepared person, a person with the knowledge and understanding of how to be safe and how to take care of themselves in an emergency, can go out, experience more, and enjoy more. And that's what my videos are about. That's what my sites are about. That's what I try to teach in all of my courses, whether I'm teaching communication to effectively dissolve and de-escalate potential violence so you can enjoy the work setting better or wherever you're at, whether it's safety strategies so you can travel or just go to the mall safely, whether it's how to defend yourself, whether it's but with your bare hands, with a pen, with a fire extinguisher, with Reflex Protect, with whatever you might have. It's so you have that knowledge and confidence that you can go out and experience life and you're prepared for what may happen. Hopefully it never does happen because we're being aware and using those avoidance skills. But we're confident that we can take care of ourselves and we don't live in fear. We live in enjoyment and just getting out and experiencing the world. One of the things that I've experienced that I feel very fortunate to have done is I've been to both the Summer and Winter Olympics in South Korea. And I would encourage anyone and everyone, if you have a chance to experience an event such as that, to do it. Even if you're not a huge sports fan, just being around that kind of experience, the excitement, the intensity, the feeling, the electricity in the air of being in that kind of environment is an experience that you'll treasure. I was stationed in Korea in the 1980s. So I was there for the 88 Olympics, the Summer Olympics in 88. And I got to go there with a few of my Army buddies. And we got to see some different games and experience everything that there was. I'm going to say hello to Dixon. Go for the gold. Exactly. And we want the gold of life. And the gold of life is experiencing as much as we can. 5 years ago, on this exact day, the anniversary of this day, 5 years ago, I was in South Korea. And I was there for the Winter Olympics. Now, I was fortunate that my wife's sister at the time lived in Gangneung. And for those of you who don't know, they advertised, the Pyeongchang Olympics, and that's where a lot of the events were. But there was also an Olympic village built in Gangneung. And it was actually only 2 miles from my Hapkido instructor's school. And that's where the skating events and stuff were. Pyeongchang had the skiing and bobsledding and such, but all of the skating events and stuff, all of those buildings were built in Gangneung. And so my wife and daughter and I, we went over there. We had a place to stay at the time. We stayed with my wife's sister, so that was convenient. I was able to train with my Hapkido instructor because he was right there, very convenient. And we got to go see some short track speed skating, which is very popular in Korea and one of my wife's favorite winter Olympic sports. And so that's the one, we got tickets for that and got to go experience that. And it was a wonderful time, and that's why I have a Soohorang on my coffee mugs. That was a gift from one of my nieces in Korea, knowing that I like tigers, and that was the Korean mascot for the Winter Olympics. And so I have these little Soohorang tigers, white tigers that fit on the side of your coffee cup. And so I thought those would be good for today's coffee with Alain. But the experience was more than just the Olympics. They had a lot of cultural things going on to highlight Korean culture for all of the different people coming to South Korea for the Olympics. So we got to partake in some of those festivities. And actually, a very good friend of mine who owns a Hapkido school there, he was the person who was my partner during my first dawn test way back in the 90s. And then Kim Hyun went and opened his own Hapkido school, and I would train with him. I consider him one of my instructors, but he says, no, Lee Jang-gyu is your instructor. We're brothers. So very good man. And it was great to go visit his school. But one of the things that happened is they had this big giant demonstration with all these different Korean cultural things. They had dancers and musicians. Kim Hyun and his students, a group of his students, did a martial art performance wearing traditional older Korean military style uniforms. And that was so cool to get to be there and see him and his students perform that, along with all of the other cultural performances that were going on that day in Gangneung. So there were a lot of things going on besides just the Olympics. And that's why I would encourage everyone to seek out those kind of experiences and do them. Don't get stuck into virtual reality and living your life on a screen. Go out and experience real things. Go places, travel to places that you read about or see on the TV. Go see them for real. That's why I went and lived in Asia. I had read about Japan and Korea and China growing up because of my interest in the martial arts. And then I started studying the martial arts. So that's why I went to live in Japan. I went to live in Korea to further my Hapkido studies. And then I went and saw castles and fortresses and different historical sites that I had read about, and then got to see them in person. And that's what I encourage you to do. Maybe it's not Asia and the martial arts that interest you. That's fine. What does interest you? Go to Europe, go to Africa, go to South America, go to Australia, go up to Canada, visit all of the United States. There's a ton to see here. But get out and see things and experience things. Dixon says, I recall the 1988 Olympic mascot was Hidori, a cute little tiger. Yes, Hidori was the Summer Olympics in 1988. I don't have a coffee cup with Hidori, but I do have some glasses, little glasses that have Hidori on them, and a couple other little Hidori things. But then Soohorang was the white tiger, which was the mascot of the Winter Olympics. So you do have two tigers that were the mascots of the different Olympics in Korea, because the tiger was important in Korean history. And in Korean art, you will see different tigers. And you'll notice the tigers are different in Korean art than they are from different Asian countries. And when you start looking at the different art from countries, whether it's Buddha statues or tigers, different statues, different paintings, you'll be able to tell the different countries and areas that they come from. And it's fascinating. But if you're not fascinated with Asia, go do the same thing in Europe. You'll see the different architecture and art and different things in the European countries. Go to Africa. You'll see the different colors and textures and styles and different things that are through the different areas of Africa. Same with South America. They got different things. All around the world, there are remarkable, fascinating, different cultures that we can experience. And don't be the ugly American if you're from America when you go experience these things. Remember, you're a guest in their country. Behave that way. And then just experience, and you'll get more. When you behave better, and you don't think that you're superior, because we're not, you will get more from the people and you'll be able to experience and enjoy that much more. I'll tell a little story. One time I was coming back from Korea. I was in line, and I was a civilian at the time, but I had been in Korea in the military years before, so I recognized this guy as a GI, and a Korean gentleman from the airline came up to him and wanted to see his ticket, and the guy was just your typical American jerk that, gives that ugly American stereotype. Sadly, it's been earned by certain Americans. He acted like a jerk, and he wouldn't show this Korean man his ticket. And it was obvious the guy worked for the airlines. He wasn't a scammer or anything. And so the Korean gentleman just backed up and, okay. And then he came up to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, are you on the flight?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "May I see your ticket?" I said, "Sure, this is my ticket." This was back when we had paper tickets. We didn't have smartphones and such. He looked at my ticket and said, "Come with me, free upgrade." And so he took me up front. He upgraded me to business class. And on those long international flights, business class is way better than sitting in the back. And it was funny because I'm sitting in my seat in business class. I have a free drink, and I watch that jerk walk by me and go into the back. Okay. So being nice, being polite, respecting those in the host country that you're visiting will enable you to experience more. It might even get you a perk or two. I know that when I was in Korea, both when I was with the military and as a civilian, and when I lived in Japan, and when I visited other countries, I always tried to get along with the local type of people. And I was invited to things and celebrations and people's houses and met their families. And it was incredible. And it enriched my time in those countries. I had dinner with a Vietnamese family that I met the gentleman on the bus, and he wanted to practice his English. And then he invited me to his home, and they were a very poor family, but wow, they treated me so well. And I'm sure that the dinner that they put on was an extra special dinner because they had a guest, and I tried to treat them extra special because they were so nice to me. And if you can get out and experience those kind of things, you will have a more enriched life. And that's what we want to do. We want to enjoy life. We want to have as many experiences as we can. Collect experiences, not things, unless it's coffee cups. But get out and enjoy life. And use the habits and strategies and things that I teach to do so safely. Everybody have a fantastic day, and we will see you tomorrow.